Brothers and sisters of the celestial energy, it's Brother Wisdom, High Prince Sima Batari Anu. Hey, how you guys doing? We're going to talk briefly about the 11th dimension and what the 11th dimension is about. All right. So we learned a whole lot of information. We gained a whole lot of information in these last few weeks about the different dimensions and where they take us, and that 10th dimension energy was very powerful. But when you're talking about going into the 11th dimension, you're talking about pure physics. All right, you're talking about pure physics. We're talking about linking into a powerful realm of particle energy. All right, you got to understand particle energy. You got to understand that it is our minds that takes us to these higher levels of what they call consciousness or awakenings. Okay, and the 11th dimension is the dimension what they call the novous state. All right, so we talked about the 10th dimension, which was the God state. All right, very powerful dimension. That's the God state. That's when all powerful, all knowing, whatever. But then when we're talking about the 11th dimension, we're talking about the nova state. Now, nova, in its original Latin term, because we originally spoke Latin. All right, that's where Harry Potter get his all of their information from. Their movies, all the magical stuff was through our ancient information where we used Latin. We used the Latin language. So the nova in its original Latin term means new. It's novous. It's called novous, 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 which means new. Okay, so when you're talking about nova energy, you're talking about a force of energy that becomes extremely powerful. All right, when they're looking at a nova star turns extremely, extremely bright, so bright that you can't see you can't see from the brightness of the light. All right, which if you go back to that Bible, which is not but a science book, they're talking about the angel that was so bright that the people were not able to see. All right, so when we talk about that nova state, you're talking about a very powerful energy that comes from within. There's nothing that comes on the outside of us. There's nothing that comes to us from the outside of us. All right, all of our powers come from within, which means that where your mind is, there your body will follow. All right, where your mind is, therefore your body will follow. All right, so you're talking about the 11th dimension is going to that nova state, and according to science, it takes a few months for the energy to return back to its original state. All right, and when you talk about a few months could be several. When you say a few months, they don't really tell you how many months it takes, because after they through all the observations. This is why it's so hard against us as original people and linking into what they call the awakening energy, because they fear what they know. Melanin, this carbon construct that we have, was meant for war. All right, these carbon bodies were meant for war, but they were meant for a different type of war. All right, that's why it's important for us to build and to create, to magnify ourselves. You are the God that must be magnified, and you magnify yourself through taking yourself through certain rituals, building, creating, expressing stern righteousness within you, which is linking into a most powerful energy that you can find within you. All right, but first you must begin building and creating. You must begin to open that geometric force of energy. Because when you talk about the novous state, you're talking about extremely high levels of geometry. All right, you're talking about protons and electrons. You're talking about fermion energy. You're talking about boson energy. All right, you're talking. You're speaking on heavy levels of physics. You're talking about particle technology, and all of that was within us. But we must get it out of us, and the only way we get it out of us is we have to change our mindset. All right, you know, I saw older brother and sister talking this morning, and they was talking about this vaccine and this virus, and I said, oh, there's no virus, and they said, oh, these people are dropping dead everywhere, and da 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 da, and I'm like, wow. I'm like, so, you know, as is written in that book called the Bible, all right, they said it will be the younger people who will go to war against the enemy and take back what belongs to them. And the older will die away. And there's a lot of older folk who are falling for them stuff and dying away. There's very few of the older folk who are actually in the awakened state. All right. So when we're dealing with mankind and all of his devices that are designed to make us fall, you must understand that that they're trying to take us into or keep us at a low vibrational state. All right. Your high vibrations deal with extremely powerful energies. So when you begin to design something in your head and you say, okay, I want to build this, and you begin building it, and you get your saw and you get your drills and your screws, or your hammer and your nails, and you get your wood, or even if you're using brick, and you get yourself some mortar, and you start putting things together with bricks and brick and mortar, and you start building and you start creating, you're linking into that you're linking into that geometry, which will take you to that nova state. All right. And that's the key. That's the key in it, is taking yourself to that nova state of mind, taking yourself to a higher level of pure power and energy, which will cause you to be in the laws of high levels of physics when we talk about particle technology. All right, because you're linking into the particles of the atoms that are within you. Got to remember, we as the original people, the kingdom of God is within you. What is the kingdom of God? The kingdom of God is nonetheless the cosmos. So the cosmos is within you. So all of this cosmic knowledge and all of this information that's within you, and all these powers and energies has got to come out. They can't stay dormant forever. And you're the ones who got to bring it out. So your mind is the place. Your mind must be a place of building. It must not be a place of waste. All right. A wasted mind is a wasted body. Literally. So the whole key point of linking into the 11th dimension is going into particle technology. Particle technology is linking into the highest energies ever. You remember we talked about the 6th dimension? Say the 6th dimension is when, the 6th dimension is when you are able to use energy from your body and expel it outwardly. All right. And that's whether you're expelling that energy towards your enemies or, excuse me there. Just got up recently. I'm sorry. That's expelling the energies to your enemies, or whether you're trying to link into one of your brothers and sisters and talk to them. That's 6th dimensional. All right. You remember we talked about the 7th dimension. The 7th dimension is linking into other worldly powers. All right. So you got to understand when we go into the 11th dimension, you're linking all of these dimensions together. The eighth dimension is when you that's the dimension of divine infinity, when you are linking all the dimensions together, because they're not just, the science says, oh, there's only 10 dimensions, but no, there's more than 10 dimensions, because when they came here to the planet, we were 13 dimensional beings. Okay, and this is where we got to return to, as 13 dimensional beings. Okay, so when we start going into the 11th dimension, all right, and linking into the more higher dimensions, we start linking into what we call particle technology, and you can go Wikipedia and look up particle technology. I posted some of that information on Remedy H on the community, in the community posts. And now that community posts, you can do up to 5 different posts of pictures. I took screenshots of what I was reading and sent it to everyone. I mean, I posted it on the community post. It's got five different things. It's talking about electrons, talking about bosons, talking about fermions, talking about protons. You know, so when you're dealing with the 11th dimension, you're dealing with pure power. This is pure unadulterated power, but this is a power that comes from within you. It's not something on the outside. We see the sun. The sun is expelling this energy, and our planet is expelling this energy, but it's up to us to expel this energy also. All right, this is an awakening energy. This is very important for us to understand, because this is how we are able to link. This is how we are able to link into the higher energies. All right, people say Dragon Ball Z or whatever, and going nova, going supernova. You know, you got to understand what the nova and the supernova is. You got to understand the science behind it. All right, so there's science behind us going into the higher dimensional realms, you know, and you got to have a concrete mind. Your mind has literally got to be solid. You cannot let anyone take you off track. No Jehovah, no Allah, no Yahuwah, Yahushua, no Jesus, no COVID, none of this stuff. No money, no job position. You know, none of this stuff should be able to take you away from this state of mind. All right, you're the only ones who will fall into that trap, and you'll fall into the trap within yourself, because no one else can plant a trap for you. And you fall into it because you're supposed to have an awakened mind. You're supposed to have a very powerful subconscious mind. You remember, your subconscious mind, that's your spiritual mind. That's behind your conscious. That's what runs everything. Your subconscious mind runs everything. All right. So it's important that we understand the 11th dimension, going into that nova state, going into the particle technology, going into electrons and protons, and you're breaking down fermions and quarks and lepticons and bosons. You're talking about some very powerful information. All right, that belongs to us. All right, you remember, we are the original scientists. How did they get this information if they didn't get it from us? Because when they came to our planet, only thing they knew how to do was war. All right, when they came to our planet, the only thing they knew how to do was war. But they learned from us. We taught them a whole lot of knowledge over these years. So the key point is linking into that higher mindset where you're able to shine. All right, and this 11th dimension is allowing you to walk into dimensional gateways. Also, the 11th dimension also opens up your mind so that you can create gateways. All right, like I said before in one of the videos, so many of our people are talking about our planet as a prison planet. The only reason why it seems that way is because we haven't rebuilt gateways. All right. So by you designing and creating and building, therefore, what happens? You're able to travel from world to world to world to world to world. Using wood, using brick, stone, crystals, metals, however you want to do it. But you got to start from inside the ground and move over the ground. So if you wanna build a portal, then you gotta understand the laws of physics dealing with portals. All right. Yeah, you can go within portals within yourself, but if you want to physically travel to another place, then you must physically build. That means your third dimensional body must link into your fifth dimensional mind and create a fourth dimensional structure that's going to have a second dimensional energy, which will give you the ability to do 35th dimensional things. And we haven't even got to the 35th dimension yet. We're just working on the 11th dimension. Okay? So something for you to think about, something for you to focus on. All right? The 11th dimension, the novous state. All right? We're going to be going to the 12th dimension very soon. But you got to understand, the 11th dimension is the novous state. That's that energy, that's that super powerful energy that takes you to places where mankind cannot get to. Mankind only knows how to try to get to places in a physical light. We can do things in the spiritual. At the same time, we got to remember that we're physical. All right? Physical is the masculine, spiritual is the feminine, which means that we have to create on the physical plane, which will take us to that spiritual level. Okay? All right, guys, that's the 11th dimension, the Nova state. Nova state, Nova in Latin is novous, all right, which means new. So it takes you into a new state of mind, a new state of being. That Nova state where this extremely powerful energy will accelerate, and then it takes a long time for it to die down, which means that from that point of being, that Nova state, when we get ready to go to war against this mankind system, in that Nova state, it's going to take a while before it dies down. All right, it's going to take a while before it dies down, and it's going to be a very powerful energy. Okay, which means that everything that you saw in the movie and cartoon industry actually will take place in this physical realm, because our planet is a multi-dimensional planet. In this physical realm, you will watch things, but first you have to begin opening up these gateways. You got to begin building these gateways so that that energy can come in to you. You got to open up the gateway. That's the only way. If you don't build the gateway to open for the energy to come, then it's not coming to you the way you want it to come. You got to open up the gateway. Okay? You got to build. You got to create. That's the only way. All right? I pass this on to you guys. I catch you later. And as usual, all power to the multi-chakra celestial angelic beings. May chaos reign with you forever and ever. Most power to you all.